Hello there, everybody. How are you all doing today? And welcome. Excuse me, I was just drinking some water. And welcome back to more E3 goodness. We're going to the show floor for E3 2006.
Yeah.
This video was uploaded by Peru Gamers. I don't know if they're gonna speak. What do they speak in Peru? I was gonna say Peruvian, but I don't think that's actually a language. I think it'd be like Spanish or Portuguese. Leaning towards Portuguese, but could be Spanish.
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
I'm not entirely sure on that one. But again, I did debate on doing another like separate one, which was like a G4 thing, but we talked about it, and it's literally just people interviewing other people behind desks, and to me, that's not what we're doing with the show floor stuff. But this looks like it probably is. So we're gonna do like however many days they have. I assume it's probably 3, and we'll just see how it goes. So Megan, are you ready?
I am.
All right. So thank you once again to Peru Gamers. Uploading. Okay, this is an IGN thing. Okay, so that's fine. Because like I said, we did this didn't seem as corporate from like the tiny bit that I skimmed through. I think there's still is gonna be a little bit.
Yeah, but there should be.
But I'm pretty happy because the show. I know it shows some show floor stuff. Yeah, and like this. Look at that again.
You've been waiting for
we see it. The outside.
2006 kicked off today, and IGN's got you covered.
Should I 2x speed this?
Interviews, playable PlayStation 3, as well as
I mean, you can if you want.
And get the fun started.
I mean, it's like 8 minutes. I think we can probably sit through it, right? I mean, there's multiple of these, mind you, but I feel like if each one's 8 minutes, it's probably fine.
Yeah, I don't think it matters too much.
Xbox.
I'm here at the Microsoft booth at E3. We get some one-on-one times with developers and producers of your favorite games. Yesterday made quite a splash at the press conference, so let's go see what they have.
We saw that. Floor. We did see that. Viva Pinata!
Woo!
This is kind of a step away from what Microsoft and Xbox 360 and Xbox is usually known for. Kind of more of a kid-oriented game. Is that... Where do you see things going with that?
Well, one of the things we did with Xbox One is we really catered to the hardcore to prove that Microsoft could make great games.
Yeah, see, once again, though, they're like, yo, Microsoft is like the hardcore, like, adult system. So, man, it's weird that you're doing like a kids kind of game. And it's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. I do find it kind of funny, though, that now that the 360 is out, they're referring to the original as the Xbox One, considering that's what they call the next one.
Gang members that are
yeah, right. I guess that's true.
Basically, they're the law, and they get to do whatever they want in the world to stop the crime.
Yeah, I guess at this point, obviously, because we don't have the actual Xbox One, so they're just like, yo, yeah, the Xbox One, and now the 360.
Yeah.
I still find it really, really weird how Microsoft's naming convention was.
Yeah, like I understand they want it to stand out, but it's kind of dumb.
Well, I heard. I'm sorry. We have anything to say?
Oh, I was just saying it just gets confusing for the end consumer as well.
Well, I mean, from what I heard, right? They did it. They called it 360 because according to I don't know. Well, what I heard is that because you had the PS3 coming out, Microsoft didn't want to seem behind. Right?
Oh,
like with a 2.
Okay.
So they wanted to call it the Xbox 3, but they realized that was stupid. So they compromised by calling it the Xbox 360.
That would have been really funny if they left it as the Xbox 3, and then everyone's like, well, what happened to the Xbox 2? And Microsoft just gives them a shrug.
Yeah, right? Like, it's really weird that they even considered that.
Yeah. Because, like, they didn't even need to have a number in the name. They could have just used some kind of subtitle.
Launch title, first-person shooter for the PlayStation 3. It's a first-person shooter, as I said before, containing elements of military action and unnerving horror. We've got a bunch of creative weapons, like, for example, the Hedgehog, which is a grenade you throw out into the environment. It rises up and shoots out hundreds of little spikes into the environment.
I like the Hedgehog grenade when I play Resistance. It's pretty cool.
It looks really cool.
I mean, it seems pretty cool.
on this while it was still being a secret.
50 years.
This game originally started out as a PS2 title, and before we made the switch to PS3.
See, basically 50 years.
Really excited to
I mean, the original Warhawk came out on the PlayStation 1, so.
On the original PlayStation release for this one.
Well, really, this is a reimagining. We took sort of the absolute core of the game, the fact that you have this combination fighter plane and gunship, and that's what we started from. And then from there, we just built out and built an entire new world around the core gameplay of the original.
I'm here with Nina, producer of Heavenly Sword.
Yay, Heavenly Sword.
Woo woo.
Death in the making. This is awesome. Everybody's just been like so excited. Definitely.
I'm so sad that it didn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, I would have loved to see what they would have done with the sequel.
I still think having a dual blades kind of thing, like obviously it's not going to be the only thing, but I still think that hurt it because it got compared to God of War so much.
Yeah.
And like I said, you know, gamers at this point, I'm going to be real, because I was one of them, could be kind of dumb, right? It's like, oh, Heavenly Sword, oh, it's God of War? Well, I may as well just play God of War if I want to play a God of War game. I don't want to play like a different God of War. It's probably not going to be as good. Right? That's the logic you use, right?
I mean, yeah, that's probably true.
As to what the Wii actually has to offer. Let's go check out and see what Nintendo has for us at this year's E3.
I just always imagine what it's like to be like one of the actors Nintendo hires for like their promo videos like that.
True.
Guys, I'm here at the Nintendo booth.
I'd be like, yo, easy money. It's got to look like I'm having fun.
Hello, Eric.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, pretty much.
Super Mario Galaxy
That's pretty much how they do with the
about
Switch
how this
commercials,
plays on
too.
next gen.
Obviously,
True.
Our big guns for the Wii console plays like a dream, like any Mario game, as you'd expect. It's Mario. You're taking place in space. You've got planets. You're flying between planets. It's really an experience you got to feel.
So, what makes this Mario different from the ones that were previous to it?
Right. Well, the main thing is the control scheme. Uses the Wii remote and the nunchuck attachment in totally new ways. You know, you're swinging the Wii remote to do a spin move. You know, it's got all the classic.
Go, Mario,
moves
go.
You can expect, you know, triple jump.
Beat that lava
Mario
octopus.
64, but it's got all this new stuff. You know, you can basically grab onto stars and float through the air. You're using the pointer to interact with the environment in totally new ways. Not only that, but every planet has its own unique gravity. So there is no up or down. So you may be upside down. You may be, you know, flying through the air. You may be like, you know, floating. Everything goes on. It's crazy.
Okay, so Legend of Zelda, a huge line behind us. Obviously, this is the one that everybody's talking about.
Another one of the huge guns we got here. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, all new control scheme. You know, widescreen, beautiful game. It's the best Zelda we've ever made. You know, hands down. It's incredible. It's gorgeous. You know, players here are getting to experience the all new control scheme. You know, basically using the
Legend of Zelda.
Aim where your arrows are firing. You know, pulling back, using that. Firing arrows at people. You know, basically you can use the nunchuck attachment to shield bash people and knock them out, and then hit them with a slice attack. You know, basically that's the A button to attack, and it's really it's a great experience, and I think people can feel a lot more attached to Zelda this way. You know, you feel like you're in the game a lot more with the Wii remote.
So Metroid Prime
Probably accurate.
Corruption.
All those FPS fans
Yeah.
out there, I know, are just freaking out about this game, and for good reason. You know, we've been talking long and hard about how the Wii remote basically is the ultimate FPS control scheme, and this proves it. Like all these people, you know, basically what it is, it's an extension of your.
Yeah, the Wii definitely did help with like the FPS stuff. I wouldn't say it's the ultimate control scheme. You still got mouse and keyboard for that. But I mean,
Yeah.
in terms of consoles, it makes sense that the Wii would be good for it.
And I'm crazy about this.
Yeah, it also gives a very unique experience, and like, it works for games that, well, that would use something like a light gun, right?
Yeah.
Just doing crazy moves.
Which
I
I
was just
still
thinking
have
about it while
somewhere
they're going
missing.
through the. Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead, yes.
Well, I was just thinking about it while we're going through this, and I'm like, is Metroid Prime 4 gonna come out before that game is 20 years old?
Hope to see you again soon. Thanks. We came, we saw, we conquered E3 2006 day one. That's a wrap.
Nice. See, like, this is okay. To me, this is an okay level of corporatism. Right?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I still prefer, you know, them wandering around the show floor itself. But, yeah, all things considered, like, they're still on the show floor.
Love IGN Weekly.
Yeah.
It's the second day of E3 2006. By now, we've heard from Microsoft, Nintendo, and Sony. We talked to the console makers. And by now, we've also had a chance to play a lot of the third-party games. So we want to find out what's really hot, what's going to rise to the top.
Okay, I do want to hear
Our
this.
buddies at IGN Editorial, if we can find them, that is, and see what's really going on with the top games this year. Wow, it's that rarest of sights. Doug Perry in Deep Thought. Doug, how's it going, man? E3 2006, you having a good time so far?
It's a great E3 for us. Absolutely.
As editor-in-chief of IGN Xbox and Xbox 360, what Xbox 360 games are you most excited to have played?
Okay, so obviously I've
Man,
got
let's
my
hear
top
Doug
three,
Perry.
Top 5. My top 3 is Gears of War, BioShock, and Mass Effect. All those games look fantastic.
Yeah, you know what?
And they
Sure.
push the
He
genre.
nailed it.
In each genre that they're in, they're going to push the genre.
A lot of third-person action games.
I mean, those are all really great games.
Xbox 360, but Gears of War is leading the class, you think, with that extra gritty feel?
Well, you know, up until now, we've just seen tech demos and tech demos of Gears of War, and I was so sick of that. Finally, they came in, and it was multiplayer, there was single player. We all sat down and played 16-player multiplayer. The game is visceral,
very nice.
has a lot of impact. You set up in teams. There's a chainsaw on the back of your gun. It's just freaking awesome. It's going to be great. I mean,
technically it's on the front. Well,
I just played it, and it's
bottom of the gun. Would that be the front or back of the gun?
Guns go very well together. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not hyping this.
Uh,
Mass Effect. I've actually
I'm not
seen
too sure.
How's Mass Effect?
So everything that, you know, BioWare does really well, they're taking to the nth level in action and RPGs. So they have great story branching. There's all sorts of, you know, grays instead of black and whites, and your sort of Knights of the Old Republic style RPG. And then there's all sorts of fantastic facial animations and conversations.
Yeah, I find it so interesting how little we actually saw of Mass Effect at the conference, to be honest.
So visually beautiful.
I figured it'd be one that they would show.
Both the combat and the
A lot of. you know?
Yeah.
and the conversations.
I mean, it doesn't come out till next year, so maybe there just wasn't a ton of footage for it yet. I assume we'll see more next year.
And I'm
Maybe.
gonna find my best buddy, Dan, if he's nowhere to be found. And
Oh,
Dan,
Oh,
found him.
wake up, man. Come on. Get up. The Spore
I don't blame him, man. It's probably tiring.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody wants to see Spore, and I'm glad you're doing your job. That's good. But we have some questions to ask you. E3 2006 is barreling along. What's the hottest?
Did they mention Spore?
The hottest PC game I've seen.
They have not.
I thought-
Get back in.
Oh,
No, yeah, they did.
Okay.
Megan, where were you?
I didn't hear him say Spore. Okay, sorry.
E3 2006 is barreling along. What's the hottest PC game you've seen so far?
The hottest PC game I've seen is probably Spore. I'm trying to get back in. And they wouldn't
Well,
let
I
me.
wonder if I should, because I was gonna wait a little bit to do
See again.
Spore. I still might wait to do Spore,
What about,
actually,
anything else? Any other,
because I have a
Yeah.
video I want to show
Yeah,
with
Price
Spore.
Okay.
Real good.
Um,
That engine is a lot of fun. The
Yeah,
actual
'cause-
game is a blast to play.
Yeah, I remember one video about Spore very vividly.
From a gigantic screen,
And,
trying to play with the motion blur from DX10, but it's
I'm not gonna say much, but I really want to show it off,
Any
you
new,
know.
hot multiplayer games that maybe we didn't see, you didn't anticipate coming in.
I believe Spore came out 2008, right?
It's RTS. It's really
I
a lot of fun
think
and
so,
multiplayer.
yeah.
Really cool things with it. Company Heroes.
Oh, World in Conflict.
Put together, like, a
This
really
game right here, I'm gonna pause here just so I can talk about it before they move on. I did really like World in Conflict as a game, as a PC game.
Oh yeah.
Very nice. I do have it. I have the box. It's a very neat box. The server is okay. Your typical American versus Russian kind of thing, and China, of course. It's basically like, oh, what if the Cold War went hot, right?
Okay.
But it's a neat little RTS because they did something pretty unique, which I don't think we saw until. Oh, what's that one game? Hold on, let me just go on my Steam profile because I know I have it. Where is it? Where is it? Oh my god, what is it? Oh shoot, what's it called? It's called like War Game or something. Yeah, War Game. So, which I don't think we really saw till War Game, which is a very similar game from what I remember. The idea was you had your aircraft and you had your tanks and then you had your infantry, right? And they kind of rock paper
Okay.
scissored against each other, which is kind of neat. So it was a game that really kind of tried to emphasize like multiplayer in that regard, because the general idea was you'd have one player on a team play, you know, the aircraft, another play infantry, another play like tank, and occasionally kind of mix and match a little bit, but you'd usually have one player like with their specialty, right? And it was all about like communication. I never actually played online with it because I didn't really care. I didn't want to interact with people. Gross, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure it didn't work out anywhere near like what the devs kind of wanted with teamwork. But the other neat thing about it was you could call in like special like bombing runs. You could like save your because I think you could like spend your points on either like bringing in like a new unit or using an airstrike or something, right? And one thing you could save up for was, I think, I don't remember what it's called. I think it was like the Rose Cutter or something. And it was basically like a mini nuke, right? And it's like, oh, that's cool. It was a very pretty looking game for the time. For an RTS anyway, you know?
Yeah.
So good game, personally. Obviously, I assume the online servers don't work anymore, or if they do, no one plays it.
Probably, yeah.
It's a neat game. Neat game with a neat idea.
Jeremy Dunham. What's up, man? It's the second day of E3 2006.
Now that plane is just flying straight forever. Well, straight up forever.
The most impressive thing I've seen so far is Heavenly Sword, which is from Ninja Theory. It looks pretty good. It's actually the only game I've seen so far that looks exactly like it did last year in the Target Winter, and actually plays well too.
So you actually put your hands on it, because we saw the video at the presser on Monday, but now you've actually played it.
Yeah, I played it. They had actually a whole bunch of games playable there. They had Resistance, Fall of Man. They had Heavenly Sword, which I already mentioned. F106, Gran Turismo HD, a couple more too. Sonic, all sorts of games.
Oh, what's your thoughts on Sonic, my dude?
3 so far on PlayStation 3 that you've actually laid hands on.
Well, so far, I haven't seen number one actually belongs to Assassin's Creed.
A good one.
I myself didn't get to play, but I saw somebody else play it. You know how protective they get, so it's playable, but not by me. Number 2 is Heavenly Sword. Looks great. Number 3 is Resistance. Those guys at Insomniac know how to do a multiplayer game, and you can do 32 players at once, which I played, which was actually pretty awesome.
Insomniac did Resistance?
They did, yeah.
How do you think they stacked up compared to Microsoft and Nintendo?
It's a tough call. It's a really close race this year. At the end of the first conference, I would have told you Sony won. In fact, I thought they did.
That was the only conference.
Well, exactly. Nintendo and Microsoft. And then after I started seeing what they were doing, it's really close. I think it breaks down to 3 things. Sony had the best conference when it comes to information. Nintendo had the best presentation. Microsoft had the best playable software. Take all that in consideration.
Yeah, sure. I think it's kind of the same conclusion we came to, actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Matt, come on, come back.
Hey, how you doing, man?
How's it going, man?
Good.
You got to be pretty excited now. Nintendo's really done it very big this E3.
Yeah.
How satisfied are you with what they've done?
You know, here's the thing. When we went into the conference and they sort of showed everything on big screens, it was blown up. It was sort of artifacty.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, well, you know, I'm not sure I'm really impressed with these graphics, and I am a graphics whore, so it always comes back to that for me.
But if you're the editor for the Wii on IGN, you're not really gonna like that too much.
Play the games, and I'm really liking everything, and the controller is kind of really living up to my expectations. So I'm really pleased.
Give us your favorite games of the show so far from Nintendo.
Well, I mean, the usual suspects, Zelda, Metroid, and of course Mario. Super Mario Galaxy
Mhm.
is my game of the show right now. I think it's amazing. I mean, it's spectacular. It's better than I was hoping for.
Have you noticed that neither one of us has said the word Wii yet? Is that kind of funny?
I'm trying to steer clear of that, yeah. No, Wii is I'm over it, man. Wii is what it is, and you just got to get past it.
How do you think?
Yeah, just gotta get past the name being kind of silly.
Microsoft and Sony brought to E3 this year.
Well, I think
Yeah.
at this press conference, they had a lot of spirit, and they just came out and they showed everybody that we're all about fun games, we're about multiplayer games, and you know maybe graphics are secondary, but we still got some good stuff. And their conference here, I think the fact that their line is the biggest line in E3 history, lined up to see these games, is a testament to the fact that people are really interested in what they've got. And
Wait. Who told you it was the biggest line in E3 history?
it was announced today. It's the biggest line in E3 history.
By who?
3.5 hours to get in here to see this stuff.
Okay, so the longest wait, not the biggest line.
Well, the longest wait and the biggest line kind of go together, don't they?
Maybe.
I think they do, yeah.
Beyond that, though,
I mean, decent logic.
playing them, Mario is awesome.
It's pretty hard to have a long line that has a short wait.
That's true, I think.
Like, obviously, it depends on what you're lining up for. If it's something you go in and go out, then yeah, maybe you're not waiting too long. But then the line won't be that long either.
Head of the IGN Nintendo team. I'm gonna let you get back to your fantasy, man. Thanks a lot.
3.5 hours to get in, though, man. Wow.
That is pretty crazy.
As E3 rolls
Yeah.
on, the second day comes to a close. You just heard from all of your favorite editors about all the games they're most excited about, but we're not done yet. Check the site for even more on your favorite games.
Yeah, we still have day 3, my man.
Close this thing down.
Right. Day 3. I want to say day 3 probably is the last one.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think E3 generally lasts for like 3 days.
Yeah.
Word 'em up, IGNers. I've managed to pull myself away from my deathbed in order to bring you the latest and greatest from E3 2006, day 3.
Oh no.
We've managed
She's
to save the
struggling
best
this
for
week.
last.
Apparently.
Backstage to our war room so we can have some one-on-one time with the editors and see what they have to say about this year's E3.
Woo.
In your opinion, who won E3 2006?
You know what I think? I think Nintendo won the show.
Yeah.
Why would you say that?
I think they showed a fantastic product that was totally different than the other guys.
Yep.
I think they showed a bunch of great games that everyone was excited about. You look at the traffic on our sites, the traffic's exploded on those sites. It's higher than the PS3, it's higher than, you know, the Xbox 360. In terms of what our readers liked, I think, in terms of what our readers really wanted, I think they think that Nintendo won the show. Personally,
Oh, I see Atlas in the background.
What they showed, their games,
Ah, nice.
hardware, the sort of joy and delight.
I'm surprised you didn't point that out.
Creative new products.
I'm here with
Yeah, I
the head of
didn't
our DVD
notice
team,
it.
one of the more attractive males at this year's E3.
I wonder if they would have been showing off Persona 3.
Right, I do.
Maybe.
I'm
Or maybe even some of the Digital Devil Saga games.
So tell me, who won?
Poor Atlas though, never gets any attention at E3.
Yeah, you know, it's really
Well,
hard
they
for me
will
to
now.
stuff to play, but of what I have seen, and
Now that
at every
E3
press
is no
conference,
more, anyway.
it's hard
Yeah,
to
they'll
say
get
what
attention at
Nintendo
E3 now that
won,
E3 is
but,
no
I was
longer
really impressed that
existing.
Nintendo came through in the end. Everybody always looks to me for
I
things
mean,
like
Persona
that.
5 made them more
I feel good about
mainstream,
that stuff.
at least for
And,
now.
Microsoft came out and surprised me. I thought I was going to be like, ho-hum, next gen. They're not doing anything new that's going to surprise me, but in fact, their lineup is so solid.
I mean,
gotta give
yeah,
them
but
credit.
Megan, to be fair, you
Sony's
can't
a big
really get more attention at E3 if E3 no longer
winner, I
exists.
think, is Nintendo for
I
actually
know,
coming
I'm just
through enough
saying they're
that I
more
feel
of a
like
mainstream
it's
publisher now,
Roper,
developer.
best part of
I mean,
E3 this
true.
year.
Beside the point, though, Megan. That's beside the
Come
point.
on, dude.
I mean, there's a lot
They were kind of hidden gems back in that day, okay?
Exactly.
Pup Guitar Hero 2 or something.
Well, that game's awesome, but we already talked about that. I don't know.
Talk about it enough.
Yeah, well, that's always true. No, I still got a couple things I got to see before the show ends, so I don't know.
I can respect that. He's like, I've talked about it enough.
Mass Effect and Bioshock. It's games.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, I haven't seen yet. So.
Well, Bozon, what do you think? Nintendo took it this time?
I think Nintendo definitely has best of show, just based on the fact that Wii is awesome and everyone's talking about it. I mean, it's hard to argue with.
Yeah, see, it was pretty universally accepted that Nintendo won the show for that year.
Plus, in front of the lines.
Yeah, I mean, they had a lot of good stuff.
I know Matt Casamassina and Craig Harris passed, and they let me right in.
I think it was more so just the technology, too, to be
I
honest.
got to walk around the show floor essentially for 3 days. And
Oh, for sure, the technology was a big part of it too. But they also had a lot of good games to show off in combination of that.
They did.
Most impressive.
I think it's a big tie between Microsoft and Nintendo, with Sony coming in distant third.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Impressed you most.
Nintendo, you know, I was pretty skeptical about the Wii coming into this thing. I mean, the name, the whole gimmick. But now that I see it operating, now that I see like Nintendo's bringing back some.
See, lots of people early took issue with the name back in the day.
The Super Paper Mario's awesome. You know, the DS
Yeah.
is hot. I don't know. I think across the board they as they do often in E3, they changed expectations around.
I'm all over Nintendo right now because I'm really happy with their show floor presence, and I really like the Wii, and I love Mario, and I love Metroid, and I think Mario's going to be a game of the show for me, so they delivered big time.
Now, you got to play with the Wii controller before E3. Have you noticed a big difference as how much they've improved it?
I still think the Revolution would have been a good name, too, though.
Dude, I'm about to hit you right now. Just answer
Oh.
Yeah, it would have been a good name.
You know what? There's really no difference. It's just more of me coming to grips with the controller, literally, I guess. It's, you know, you have to learn, just like you have to learn two analog sticks. and now that I'm kind of more familiar with it, it's feeling much better.
Who won E3? I think I won E3.
Understandable.
Ooh.
I see
Oh, they do
P3.
have a poster for P3.
So you're right, P3 was on the show floor.
Probably 360
Nice.
next-gen lineup was the most impressive thing I saw. Like, I've been looking for a reason to stay excited about that console, and BioShock, Mass Effect, and
I couldn't remember when in 2006 it came out, so I'm like, oh, maybe it came out earlier in the year.
Oh yeah, can you see one of the character standees?
far better in my opinion than the PS3
Yeah, it's cool.
stuff highlighted at their booth.
Yeah, reassurance for Microsoft fans has been pretty big because all they had to go with was games this year, and they came out with some strong titles. Where did Sony go wrong in your opinion? That's been the general assumption.
I don't think that Sony went wrong exactly. I just think that their conference was just so boring that it really
Yeah.
took the wind out of their sails. It's an amazing piece of hardware.
See, Megan and I aren't the only ones that think these things, right? Like, see, other people think it too.
Do you see anything grab you over there?
Yeah.
I mean, Spore looks good as always. That's really. I got to play with the Creature Creator for a little while, and that's a lot of fun. Crisis looks awesome. You know,
The Creature Creator was like the best part of Spore. I loved playing with it.
Yeah.
That's definitely
Yeah.
for both 360 and
Maybe one day a game will be like Spore and done right.
I'm gonna save my thoughts on Spore for when I bring that one for like what 2008 I think.
Yeah.
Or 2007. We'll see. I'll see when Spore came out, and then I'll figure it out then because I'm gonna show off that video and I have things to say about Spore. I have lots of things.
No, I
to
mean
say
that's
about Spore.
fair. I won't say too much either. But I just remember it being a game I was really hyped for, and I liked it. And then like the more I played it, the more I hated it.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, nice.
Not
Oh,
to
that
interrupt. I
Secret
just
Agent
said
Clank,
Ratchet
maybe?
Maybe.
Or is it Size Matters? It might be Size Matters.
I mean, just based on the name, it's definitely like short name and then long, like short word, longer word. So it
Yeah,
could be
it's probably
Size
Size
Matters.
Matters. That is the PSP section, yeah.
Development costs being what they are, it's like you have to start from scratch building a franchise. You have to make 2 and 3 versions of everything you make. There are all a lot of sequels. Which console maker you think came out ahead?
You know what? I'm really impressed with the Wii. I couldn't believe it, but the controller works. It really works.
The controller works.
Which Wii game really sealed the deal for you, though?
Feels bad when that has to be the standard. It's like, oh, it actually works.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you know, I guess part of it is just like motion controls didn't exist really. So it's like, damn, they actually made it feel good, right?
Well, yeah, no, and like I get for this time period, motion controls were really bad. So like I understand the mindset, but it's just, yeah, it's funny to me.
You know, I'm on top of that thing. I'm gonna get it.
Well, I think I'm convinced. David Kleinman says he won E3 2006. Fans won E3 2006.
How has E3 treated you this year?
It's awful. If you've read my E3 blog, like I only had one update before we came, and I don't really like it because it's such a
An E3 blog.
And I'm still hoping to play more stuff. I've hardly played anything, but overall, it's been a good show. They've had a lot of good stuff this year, and I'd say it's probably of what's out there. It's one of the top 2 E3s that I've ever been to, so it's good in that respect.
Good, nice.
A rough E3 on all of us, but a very entertaining one.
Yeah, exactly. But
It sounds like all of the journalists are having a really busy time trying to get everything sorted.
I mean, yeah. Oh no.
Oh, hey, yeah, thanks for watching now. Go.
Yeah. Life doesn't seem easy for a game journalist at E3.
No, honestly, E3 for a journalist is probably like 3 of the hardest days that they ever have to go through.
Probably.
Because you
Like,
basically have to spend all day going on this convention floor and then like immediately write up articles, and it's just like, oh, it's really bad for them.
Then maybe sleep.
Then maybe get some sleep.
All right. So yeah, pretty good. Yeah, so I don't actually know how many more show floors Megan and I are gonna actually do because I'm gonna look every year regardless, right?
Yeah.
But if most of them come out to be kind of like the G4 version, then I probably won't include that because to me that's not the essence of like the E3 show floor. Here, at least, it's still wandering around and like seeing some stuff, right?
Yeah.
even if it's not as good as, say, you know, your average Joe going out and with his like video camera and filming all that stuff. All right, so yeah, so we'll see. Eventually, we might get to the point where, and I feel like if we do, we're getting there pretty soon, where we might just start skipping the show floors, but we'll see. It's gonna depend. It's gonna depend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once again, thank you to Peru Gamers for uploading this. Always good to see. But Megan, any final thoughts before we move on to 2007?
Like overall was a very good year for games,
Yeah.
and honestly, I'm looking forward to see what's in 2007 because I don't recall off the top of my head a lot of stuff that came out in 2007. But I just remember the late 2000s in general kind of being really good for games.
I mean, that's probably pretty accurate. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of anything either. I know it's gonna start getting interesting at some point near the late 2000s, but I don't remember E3 2007 specifically. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. I knew 2006 was like the PlayStation meme year, but 2007 I don't quite recall. I may have some ideas, but I'm not really too sure. All right. So, do you think that's it then for now?
Yeah.
All right. In that case, thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We hope you all enjoyed. Feel free to let us know what you all thought of E3 2006 from the conferences to the games. And for now, I guess it's time to cue the outro, though. So, frag out, and we shall catch you guys later.
Bye.